just said, once they tell me they want to graduate from school and play in the NFL, I can always make it about them. You know, Rondo McClain was a great player for us. Plays for the Cowboys now. He was the 8th guy picked in the draft. But when he was a freshman, he had an incident where he was walking by the fraternity house. Guys were calling him names and yelling at him. They were all drinking. He wasn't doing anything wrong. But he got upset and got mad, and he went and got into confrontation with one of them. The police came, and he could have really got an assault charge against him. But the police called me instead, so I bring Roe in and I say, you just can't do stuff like that. You can't be a part of our team and do things like that. You would have got arrested, and it would have made everybody look bad. And he said, Coach, where I come from, people don't call you those kind of names and you don't do something about it. He was ready to fight me. So then I said, I'm going to take a little different approach here. So I said to him, I said, you know, Ro, you're a freshman, you're starting, you're going to be a first-round draft pick. And being a first-round draft pick, you're probably going to make $30 million. If you would have got an assault charge and they would have called the police instead of calling me, a felony charge against you would make you a third-round draft pick because they would penalize you at least 2 rounds based on your character. So now you'd make about $3 million. So even though I agree that you did the right thing, for $27 million, is it worth it to be right? Now his answer was, Coach, you'll never have another problem like that out of me. But my point is the first approach was sort of about me, about Alabama football, about the organization, about the whole thing, and how he needed to be responsible to that. But when I made it about him, he was very understanding. He got it because he had a goal to do something, and the behavior was not going to help him do it. In fact, there were going to be tremendous consequences for that. So you got to be responsible and accountable for your actions, and you got to make people that way. And everybody's going to have to work to execute what you want to do. You know, you're going to reap what you sow. And it's going to take a tremendous amount of perseverance in your organization to have that team to be successful. You know, there's a commercial out there about Michael Jordan where, you know, he's in a limo and he's driving to a game and they say he's taken 26 game-winning shots and missed. He's been in 384 NBA basketball games and lost. You think he's winning all the time. And he's taken 2,692 shots and missed. And then he opens the door to the car and walks in the stadium and says, but because I failed is why I succeed. So failure is nothing but an opportunity to learn and grow and get better at what you do. Because if you can't overcome adversity in your organization, just like us losing to Ole Miss this year, I mean, we got criticized, we got killed, I mean, unbelievable. But it was all about, my statement to the team was, how are you going to respond to a loss? How are you going to respond to a loss? You know, there can be no great victories in life without tremendous adversity. You know, in 1981 or 2, whenever I was at Ohio State, we were going to play Michigan, and Woody Hayes was still alive, and we had a senior tackle, and we played at Michigan, and they were number 1 in the country, and we were 17-point underdogs. We had lost a couple games to some good teams, but we still lost a couple games. Too many at Ohio State. We're getting criticized a lot. But Woody wasn't the coach, Earl Bruce was, but he came and spoke at the senior tackle. We had a horrible week of practice. Everybody was negative because they were getting criticized, and when people get criticized, you know, everybody starts doing this, you know, pointing the fingers at the other guy. It's not my fault, it's his fault. All right, so there was a lot of that going on. So things were not good. And I'm thinking we're going to really get beat badly by this team that we're going out there and play. At Michigan, 105,000 people, snowing, cold, 17-point underdogs, all this negativism on our team. Woody comes to the senior tackle. He makes the statement, there can be no great victories in life without tremendous adversity. He equates us going to play Michigan at Michigan, being underdogs and all this bad weather and all this negativism that we're dealing with, to the war in the Pacific, which is the greatest military victory of all times. Because of Pearl Harbor, what we had to overcome. So he gives this speech I mean, and we go, and the whole attitude of the whole team went from fear of failure to what an opportunity we have to create something of significance by going up there and winning this game. I mean, and we kicked the lion out their ass now. I mean, we beat them every way you could beat them. They didn't score a touchdown. They had the largest offense, or the most successful offense in the country. They were number one, and they didn't score a touchdown in the game. But you know, the interesting thing was, is Woody went on a trip with us, and he came in the locker room after the game. I mean, we played, you know, I mean, way over our heads emotionally and all that for 60 minutes in a game, and it was fun to see. But he said that was the last game of the season. He said, "I'm glad we don't have a game next week." And I'm looking at him like, "Hey, we finally arrived, man. I wish we played anybody in the country now. We'd beat anybody in the country. We're the best team in the country." He said, "Because there's not a team in the country we could beat next week." Because he understood, you know, how hard the players played, how emotional we were in the game. So, you know, but the point here is, there can be no great victories in life without tremendous adversity. You have to be able to overcome adversity. And if you're going to do that, you have to be a relentless competitor. You know, I mean, does anybody here, can you tell me one word that describes any horror movie that you watch? What makes it a horror movie? What makes you afraid? What makes you afraid of Freddy Krueger in Friday the 13th? What makes you afraid? Can't kill the guy. Can't kill him. Relentless. You think you got him, his hand comes through the wall and chokes somebody, and we're off to the races again. We're scared to death. So, but this being a relentless competitor, because you never know what the other guy's thinking. You never know about what the competition is going through. You only look at it from your perspective. I think there's a boxing story that probably, I may not even get the names of these two guys right, but it's about